As of as of just a couple days ago, clock has been announced for its removal from the WCA, and as of 2027, it's going to be dead. Now in this video, I'm going to talk about a couple of things. Firstly, what this means for a clock-based channel, why they removed it, and why I think it's wrong. Now, firstly, just to get it out of the way, what does this mean for a channel like mine, which is completely clock-oriented? And it means not much. Most of the stuff I do for clock on this channel are like funny skits or just averages, which doesn't matter all that much, and removing clock as a WCA is just going to get rid of the most boring part about it, which is the random averages I post. So, not much. Why did they remove clock as a WCA event? Now, their official reasoning for it was a basis of two things. Number one, that it is not a twisty puzzle, it is a two-dimensional, not color-based mathematical puzzle. And number two, which is that it's too annoying to run. I find that second opinion kind of silly, and just out of my own opinion, it doesn't make all too much sense. So why don't I think it should be removed? Well, a couple of reasons. Firstly, because I just touched on that. Because it's not too terribly hard to run. They didn't actually give a lot of reasons. They only gave one reason why it was difficult to run, which was the scrambling. And at least in my own opinion, clock is not hard to scramble. It's hard to scramble at first because it's not what you're used to, the same way that 3x3 is hard to scramble at first because it's not what you're used to. But in reality, I don't like to use this phrase a lot because it's a silly phrase, but it is legitimately just a skill issue if you cannot scramble a clock. The ticks, wrong way. You can easily see, like, I'm going to do 4 moves right here. Boom, easy, super quick, and it's not. And again, it is really easy to get quick at it, and I'm sure that most competitions held have at least one person there that can scramble at a decent pace. Now, of course, there are still complaints, so I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but it is something that we can get better at, and it's not a whole reason to remove an event. And then also, to add on top of that, if you do mis-scramble it, which can happen, it's happened to me too, it's not like it's terribly hard to solve again. It's not like you need to learn commutators or anything. In fact, most basic clock lessons will teach you how to individually move faces. Like, let's say that I wanted to move this face right here to be solved. What I would do first, is I'd solve everything else, solve everything else, put those two back, and then just solve these two faces. And then boom, I didn't even have to look at that, and this one's now solved. It's not hard to fix these things. And it's not hard to fix mis-scrambled clocks. So if I were to have a proper basis on it, I'd like to hear more from the WCA on more reasons why it's a hard hard event to hold. And I'd love to hear that. If you guys have your own opinions on why it's a hard event to hold, let me know. Because currently, from what I read through here, the only thing that they said was about how it's hard to scramble. And then also that you have to use different equipment. Really, the only equipment that you have to use differently maybe is if you have small cube covers, but I'm kind of ignoring that one because most cube covers can cover it, and we've gotten rid of the pin rule, so it's not like we really need to worry about the pins. I feel like that's a non-problem. My second reason why it shouldn't necessarily be removed is that it is at the peak of its popularity. I have not seen clock at such a popular rate. And the fact that they're removing it now is really odd. If they removed it a couple of years ago, even when it was just starting to get popular, sure, a couple of people will be mad, but it's not like people have put hundreds of hours into this. At this point, people have put hundreds of hours into these puzzles. And it still has a huge following, especially even in Alberta here. There are many people who love to solve this puzzle. And again, if they were to remove it a couple of years earlier, that makes a lot more sense. And I respect that, because again, it's not a proper twisty puzzle. I can understand why you don't want it. But to remove it at the height of its popularity is really silly. It's really silly. I'm just going to share something. It's like kind of a conspiracy theory I have. Note this is based on nothing but assumptions. If, for whatever reason, this is not true, just know it's not. I don't actually believe this. This is just a guess. This is just a fun theory. Okay? Just a fun theory. My fun theory is that as of the past couple of years, the WCA has been really trying to shift towards a more entertainment perspective, whether that being hosting more live streams of world events, or like having it being partnered up with more sports-like companies. They're trying to move towards a more entertainment-focused arena. At least that's from what I've seen. The thing is that Clock is the only event, and I'll admit it sucks to watch. It's so boring. They pick up the puzzle, they put it down, and then suddenly it's solved. That's it. And you can't even tell what's going on in the faces. So I can understand why you'd want to remove it for that. But to remove it purely for the reason you want the WCA to become a sport is silly. Again, I don't think that that's what they're doing. This is just a theory. Just something to think about. Oh, also, I remember what I was going to say. If they are trying to turn towards more of an entertainment organization, I find that also kind of silly. Because the WCA in a whole is meant to, first and foremost, figure out who the best Rubik's Cube solver is, or best event solver, whatever category that might be. And secondly, to improve your solves. The reason why we have competitions like every couple of months is not to see who's currently the best, because we know that's going to be the same people getting the same podiums each and every single time. It's to get you used to solving in a certain space. So it's not really meant for entertainment, it's meant for making you better, which in turn is entertaining. That's the second, of course, first and foremost, find who's the best in the world, generally. Yeah. Now again, that last bit, just a theory. Not much grounds of that, other than the fact that it's just things that I've observed. And if you think of any reasons why it shouldn't be added, what like troubles you might go through that I haven't listed, anything at all, tell me. Tell me in the comments down below, because I want to hear everyone's thoughts. I want to hear what I can do to get better. I want to hear all of that. So if you have anything, let me know. Don't be afraid to not let me know. One thing that I forgot to mention is that there is a change.org petition to add Clock back into the WCA, at least once it gets removed, or to null the removal of Clock from the WCA, and I highly recommend that you sign it. It's completely free, and I'll leave a link to it down in the description. Bye.